So we are going to talk about Josh Allen being this generation's new Tony Romo. We're going to also touch a little bit on, no homo, Justin Fields. You're going to be able to defend your boy Sam Howell. We're going to take a look at Lamar Jackson, make sure he's really worth the money that he so twisted out of Baltimore. And then, of course, every Cowboys' favorite quarterback, Mr. Dak Prescott. Is he elite or is he elite ass? We'll sit down and take a look at the numbers today. We'll also take a look and
Okay.
see who our top three in the AFC, NFC divisions are for the Super Bowl, because I don't know about you, but you could hold a gun to my head right now, and I'm going to take a bullet because I couldn't tell you a Super Bowl winner, let alone who I see being in the Super Bowl if I had to pick just two teams. And then we're also going to talk about how great the Texans have been doing, who you told me were going to be in the bottom in our division, and the Titans. You're going to get a chance to defend your boys if at all possible. So don't Ryan Tannehill that situation. See how it goes.
I'll wait for that segment to speak my piece on that.
Oh, man. So let's go ahead and start this off. I have got the biggest problem with Josh Allen's protection he's got in the media. Don't get me wrong. I do think this man is a great quarterback. I do think he can do things. I just don't think he can get out of his own way. And I think he is put up on a pedestal above reproach. We've already changed the overtime rules because, oh my gosh, Josh Allen didn't get a chance to answer back to Patrick. Seriously? That's what we're going to complain about?
The overtime rule wasn't traded. I mean, it wasn't changed because of Josh Allen. It was changed because we were robbed out of good football because
Oh,
they
see,
didn't get an opportunity. That was a really good game.
I get it was a really good game, but so was the AFC Championship game where Tom Brady stormed back to sit there and overthrow the Chiefs in what should have been Patrick's first Super Bowl run. But nobody talked about how Patrick should have got another chance.
Hey, man, it is what it is. It happened two times, and the NFL and fans was tired of seeing it. It just happened to happen on Josh Allen's watch, and that was
No,
a good change. That
stop
was a really
it.
good change.
Stop it.
Really
That
good change.
his end of games heroics has ended more games for the Buffalo Bills than Tony Romo has sunk the Cowboys at this point in time.
I remember watching Josh Allen. I want to say it was his first playoff run. I think it was his rookie year, and in the playoffs, he ended up tucking the ball and running. And as he was running, he just unscheduledly lateral the ball, and the receiver wasn't ready for it. And I was like, yo, calm down. Like, what are you doing? But he was a rookie at the time, and his career so far has gone not that bad to where he's trying to make plays like that. But he just feels with his arm and his mobility and his talent that he can make every throw. And sometimes that helps him, and sometimes it doesn't.
He needs to have more of a realistic approach on it. If he can get how he had when he was with Brian Dayball, because I feel Brian Dayball was able to be that balance for him, and that's where he was really taking off. Since he's lost that, I mean, we haven't seen everything that's been going on. I mean, like, he's only been to one Pro Bowl. He's never been nominated for an MVP. He's never been an All Pro. He's only been a second team All Pro. He's never been the passing leader. In his best season, his interception percentage is 2.3. He's got 14 game-winning drives. Gotta give him that one. Uh, his best season, he had 37 touchdowns. He had 45, little over 4,500 passing yards, and he threw 9 interceptions. You know whose career sounds very, very similar to that?
Tony Romo was not as talented as Josh Allen is because you're gonna try to say Tony Romo,
Oh, it
but
is.
you got to remember that different quarterbacks peak at different times. Every quarterback can't be,
I'm,
Patrick Mahomes.
I
Patrick
am,
Mahomes,
bro. Stop.
I'm just saying he's a very special guy, man. So you can't name me many quarterbacks that came in the league and done what Patrick Mahomes has done.
Look at Joe
So,
Burrow.
but the reason, look at Joe Burrow now. I mean, what is he doing at this moment? But the reason why I mentioned Patrick along with Josh is because throughout both of their careers, it's going to be Josh and Patrick. And there's nothing wrong with that because we had Tom and Peyton for a long time. So
Don't
this is just
don't
what it
put
is right now.
don't put Josh and Peyton.
That's That I just said a quarterback comparison. Josh is going to be right there. Excuse me. Josh is going to be right there when you talk about top quarterbacks in the league. And the reason why he's going to be there because he is one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
His yards have dipped slightly since 2020, and his touchdowns have dropped. He's been losing one touchdown per year since 2020. His 2020, his interceptions have been this 10, 15, 14. And I'm not counting this season because it's not over yet. It's not in the books.
Mm-hmm.
His sacks have been 26, 26, 33. And it's not because his offensive line is getting worse. He's trying to do more than what he needs to. The games he's lost, he's personally responsible for. The epic collapse in Minnesota. Miami, like the only reason, or I wouldn't even say they lost, that Miami game in the playoffs, he did everything to lose. All Miami had to do was get a first down. But Skylar Thompson was very green. He showed very much that he is nowhere near a starting quarterback. You could have had Teddy Bridgewater in it, and they could have won that game. Miami would have won that game and went on to play and hit that buzzsaw known as the Bengals and got beaten then. It shouldn't have been Buffalo last year in the playoffs. Then you had the Jets to kick this season off. He threw three. He thought, what's his name was on his team for as many times. He threw three interceptions to him. And then we also saw with the Jaguars as well too, trying to do too much. Because like you said, it was a glorified punt, that interception he threw up to Diggs, because Diggs is a number one receiver. He should be able to come down to it. The man had two people draped all over him. He was shadowed the whole way through, and he shorted it. Josh shouldn't have thrown the ball.
I'll defend that throw. I will defend that throw. Diggs just didn't get a good play on the ball because they both caught it at the same time. The ball was just ripped from Diggs. But I will give you the sandwich games that is the New York games. I will give you those games.
And then look at what he did. Look at what he did with the Giants. Dak.
Yeah, that game surprised me.
They tried to. Tyrod was one pass interference call away from being able to win that game.
That was easily Josh Allen's worst performance of the year against the Giants. Looking at the stats right now, he threw for 169, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. The fact that he didn't eclipse 200 yards was the first time that he did that this season. So,
by the way, thank you, Josh Allen, for that performance. You won me my fantasy game because of that against Trey. Josh, I love you. I love you. I love you. I really do hope you make me look so bad by winning the Super Bowl. I really do.
Yeah, and it just so happens we were playing each other that week. Loved it. Just loved it. By the way, getting off topic for a second, I'm the number one scorer in our league right now. Just like to throw that out there. But he definitely didn't do me any favors this past week. But Josh Allen, he'll be fine, man. What is he, 26, 27 years old? Josh will be fine. I have no worry about Josh or the Buffalo Bills. As long as Josh is at the helm, the Buffalo Bills will always be in contention for a Super Bowl.
Everybody said that about Tony Romo. Tony Romo's best season, by the way. 36 touchdowns, 4,903 passing yards, 0 interceptions. His career interception percentage, 2.7. Game-winning drives, 30. Pro Bowls, 4. MVPs, 0. All-Pros, 0. Second All-Pros, 1. Super Bowl appearances, 0. Championship appearances, 0. Josh Allen's future.
Do you want to know how I know that Josh Allen won't be Tony Romo?
Because if you got
one stat that you failed to mention. Of course, you're gonna make this is all to try to make Josh look bad. And I understand that, but how many playoff wins does Tony Romo have?
6. No, he's got.
Sure.
No, Tony Romo has the same number of playoff wins as Josh Allen, I do believe. At least appearances.
Go ahead and look it up. I'll wait for you, sir. I want to make sure you got your numbers right.
Here we go. Josh Allen versus Tony Romo, because I was looking that up. Oh, here it goes.
Playoff wins.
I'm going for it. I know how many. Let's see here. Regular season stats. Of course, they're all one and the same with one another. Playoff games. 6. They both played in 6. They both appeared 6 times.
No, how many games did Tony Romo win?
Tony Romo was never.
He has no wins.
No wins in the postseason.
Not that I know of. I
No.
could be wrong on this number, but that I wanted you to see that.
Yeah, Tony Romo has
That
zero wins as a starter in the playoffs.
so with that being said, they are not the same. They are not the same. Josh Allen can perform when the lights are big. Tony Romo could not.
He can. Josh Allen can perform when the lights are big. You are 100%
He
right,
absolutely
but he
can.
cannot play when the pressure's on. Since again, I'll say it once, and I'll say it again. Since Patrick took his balls on that field to go to the AFC Championship, he has not been able to close out a close game.
So you forget about that drive that he did to put that game in overtime, right? The two. It was probably one of the best playoff games in a while.
No,
They were
Patrick put that game in
literally.
overtime.
I know, but did you see the pass that Gabe Davis caught? That was the 3 touchdown that Gabe Davis had. He had 3 touchdowns that game.
But that was before Patrick said 13 seconds, no problem. Let me show you what I can do.
But you got to remember, Patrick had just scored to put them up.
Yes.
And what did Josh come down and do?
He went back and
he put the,
he went
and he
back
put
and
them
he
up.
scored. And he put them
I
up.
think he did it in like 2 or 3 throws, and they were right back up. So, and that was in the playoffs, man. So we can't. Tony Romo ain't making throws like that. First off,
no, he's not.
Tony Romo
throwing an interception.
Tony Romo doesn't have the arm talent that Josh Allen has.
No. Nor does he have the arm talent. I was about to try to say nor does he have the clutchness, but my entire argument is Josh Allen has lost that clutch. He needs to go in for repairs and get that fixed.
Tony Romo had a run game. Josh Allen, they don't have no run game yet. James Cook is still trying to figure it out.
James Cook, no, they traded Singletary, or they let Singletary go. Who's the other running back that they got over there?
Latavius Murray.
Yeah. No run.
Exactly.
But it's just.
Well, hold on. It was Damian Harris, but Damian Harris just went down.
Yeah. Harris was a lot better than what the Pats gave him credit for.
Yeah, so it's Latavius Murray now.
But that's again, it's sitting there saying the same thing. Patrick, up until Pacheco, has no run game. Edwards-Helaire he's out of there. He is.
No, yeah, he's done.
He's done.
He's absolutely done.
I'm not saying he can't bounce back and have a good career somewhere else. I'm not gonna put that on that man. But I'll tell you right now, Andy Reid's system is not his system.
But Pacheco stepped up. But you got to remember, KC only didn't have a run game for a little bit because let's not forget about Kareem Hunt being there.
Well, I'm just talking about with Patrick's tenure. But yeah, KC. But you need a Kareem Hunt in Andy Reid's offense.
You just need somebody. You need a guy that has to. When you run a play action, that they got to respect. That's it.
And that can catch the ball out of the backfield.
They'll get it. That's why I will always beat up Andy Reid and until the end of days that he decided to take Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor would have been beast for him. I agree with that one.
So it is what it is. We can't cry over spilled milk now, but
yeah.
Anyway, so I'm still high on Josh Allen. I'm not worried about Josh Allen. Josh Allen's going to be fine. I know you're going to beat him up until he proves you otherwise.
Yeah.
So we're just going to be on 2 different sides of the fence when it comes to Josh Allen.
And again, I just want to be on the record. Though I see Josh Allen being no more than the new shiny Tony Romo, I will again put this disclaimer in there. Josh, I hope you figure it out, but I don't think you're going to in the AFC. Go ahead and go to the NFC. It's a whole hell of a lot easier over there as far as quarterback play. And I guarantee you, we'll see you in the Super Bowl if you go to the NFC. Matter of fact,
he's going to win in the AFC.
He's going
to win in the AFC.
Go unseat Jared Goff in Detroit. I think that team is definitely set up for him to be able to take over, run off in that one.
No, they already got their quarterback of the future with Hooker.
Hendon Hooker.
Yep.
But. He can go over there and take over Green Bay, do more than what Aaron Rodgers was able to.
They got Jordan Love.
So you would take Jordan Love over Josh Allen?
I didn't say that, but they're not going to make a play on the quarterback.
Oh, but I'm
in the NFL right now. If we did a redraft of the entire NFL, the only quarterback in my mind that goes ahead of Josh Allen is Patrick Mahomes. with my chest out. I'm owning that. If Patrick Mahomes goes first and I'm taking a quarterback second, I'm taking Josh Allen.
That's you. I mean, like I said before, when it comes to Josh Allen, you asked for five quarterbacks better than Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Tua Tagovailoa, and
Justin Herbert is not better than Josh Allen. Tua is not better than Josh Allen.
Ask Miami that question.
Hey, so let's give Josh Allen those weapons.
I told everybody before he wouldn't use them. Stop it.
Man, Josh would destroy with that Miami offense.
Stop it.
Josh would destroy.
Josh would be trying to run his own damn self, or he'd sit there and be trying to force the ball somewhere where it didn't need to go.
Nah, Josh would kill with that offense, man.
Put Patrick back in that offense.
Let me ask you this. If Gabe Davis goes to a different team, is he as successful as he is in Buffalo?
As long as he has a Stephon Diggs to play opposite of.
So no, the answer is no.
He's not a number one. You're sitting there, you're asking him about being a number one receiver. If he goes to KC,
no. I didn't say number one. I said, would he be successful?
And I didn't say anything about Josh Allen needing to be the quarterback. I didn't say he needs a quarterback talent like Josh Allen. I just said he needs a bona fide number one across from him. That's all he needs.
I think. Well, I would have defended that before the season started, but that. What we saw in KC week 1 proves that you absolutely need reliable pass catchers in order to be great as a quarterback too.
You do. And Patrick has, for the most part. He's got to at least have a group of number twos. Right now, all he's got is rookies and some 2 minus, wide receiver 2 minuses out there. Like,
I don't hate that.
They don't have a clear-cut number one. And that's not saying none of those cats can't step up to be that, but I can tell you right now, McCole Hardman was not your trade to make to get that. I would have went ahead and just picked up I would have either taken the flyer on Julio and hoped for the best, or I would have went and traded for Mike Evans.
The rumor is right now is that KC, from what I saw, KC is connected to 2 veteran wide receivers. The first one being Mike Evans, the second one being DeAndre Hopkins.
You think they were going to trade
more to
Tennessee?
come? More to come on that later.
Wait for the trade deadline to come through. We'll see how that goes.
We're not that far away from the trade deadline. We're under 2 weeks,
and it's getting ready to light up. Also,
okay. Moving forward, I have to defend. I'm just going to defend a comment real quick, and then we can press on.
Okay.
That I said in our last show about Sam Howell. All right. So I got beat up a little bit by saying that Sam Howell will win a Super Bowl. If we go back and look at the film, I said that Sam Howell can win you a Super Bowl with the defense that they have.
We did see the defense.
The reason why I said that is because if Trent Dilfer can win a Super Bowl, why not Sam Howell? Sam Howell he's a good quarterback. Go look at his numbers. Yes, he's kind of a little inconsistent right now, but technically this is his rookie season. He didn't play last season. So this is his first good year of getting in there and see. And I think he's playing fine.
You also got to look at like Rex Grossman with the Bears. Like, he made it to a Super Bowl and had an opportunity to win it, and they just couldn't close it out. But that defense can make it happen.
Absolutely, just like the Buccaneers when they won. Who was their quarterback? Exactly. Oh, his name's right there.
Was
the Buccaneers when they won? What is his name?
Was it Jeff Garcia?
No,
it wasn't Jeff.
If you said it, no. I can't think of his name right now.
Oh man!
But their quarterback wasn't a great quarterback, and they won a Super Bowl because of the defense. Those are 2 defenses that I just gave you, and Washington is building the same type of defense. They need to do a little tooling here and there, but they can do it, man.
Yeah.
And Sam Howell is good enough to do it. He's good enough.
Brad Johnson
won a Super Bowl. So why not Sam Howell?
With a good defense.
I didn't say Zach Wilson. I didn't say nothing. I said Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Look at Sam Howell's numbers this year. Sam Howell is doing fine.
Well, see,
in a tough division.
Yeah, and you have with Zach Wilson. I couldn't tell you what was going on with him, but he plays as a complete liability too often. He does show a lot of good flashes where he can make things happen and still be able to put you in good positions to win. We saw that with Buffalo. We saw that with who they play. We saw that with Philly. But I just he plays too much as a liability sometimes, and I think that's the biggest thing to where they just load up the box. You got to be able to make at least 5 or 6 good throws to be able to do that. And some games he gives you those 5 or 6, and some games he gives you, one or two, but
Well,
not enough to get them to back up off the run.
he'll get that as he progresses, as he gets more experience. He'll get it. But that's what I meant when I said Sam Howell can win you a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now, speaking of being able to win you a Super Bowl, Lamar Jackson, can he?
With the current team that
With
he
the
has right
current
now,
team that he's got right now, can Lamar Jackson win a Super Bowl in Baltimore?
he only has really two reliable pairs of hands out there, which is Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews. They just recently started working Mark Andrews into the offense. He was very invisible the first couple of weeks.
Hmm.
He's getting touches now because Zay has kind of exploded on the scene, if you will. Odell Beckham, man, I know that's not the Odell that they thought they were going to get. He's either hurt or ineffective. Um, Rashad Bateman, there's been some Rashad Bateman sightings
Yeah.
in a few games that I saw. So Rashad's getting the ball. So it's good to see that that first round talent is actually trying to work his way into their offense as well. But if you look at what they technically right now have 3 first round talents as pass catchers right now.
And not a single one of them are doing anything to help them out.
But it's the rookie that's shining. That's so weird to me. And then their run game injured. They can't stay healthy when it comes to the running backs. Dobbins, he's a damn good running back, but he's just on the wrong side of some injuries right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to get him out of Baltimore, but I don't think Baltimore is ready yet to compete for a Super Bowl. I
But
mean, their
what money are they
defense
gonna
is decent.
what money do they have to be able to put into it? Do you think Lamar Jackson is worth the salary cap room that he just ate up?
Lamar basically hit him with who else can do what I can do, and
Caleb
that's
Williams. Like he
Caleb
played
Williams ate it in the NFL.
I get it though, but he played a huge gamble. He had a huge gamble. You're talking about you had 2 good years because he did all this before the draft this last year. He had 2 years where if the Ravens could have gotten a trade partner to take the two number ones for him, they could have just shipped him off and they would have been doing just fine with CJ or
Mm.
Bryce. I think Bryce Young could be doing a little bit better in that Ravens offense. I could be wrong, but I don't see anything too much to push the panic button. I just think Carolina is just a terrible terrible organization, but I've never liked the Carolina Panthers. But there's some good quarterbacks in this draft that just happened. You've got all of the other quarterbacks coming up in this next draft, and he dared to step up and play chicken, and Baltimore folded because I would have told him to go somewhere else. Because since that MVP year, his passing yards have been declining every single year. His passing touchdowns have dropped down every single year. You're talking he went from 36 touchdowns to 26 touchdowns to 16 to 17. His interceptions are piling up 9, 13, 7. And then, I mean, you're talking about he's going to a 4-2 interception to touchdown ratio. I mean, he's getting progressively worse. And not to mention the injuries are piling up. And then you're going to come up and tell me that you demand $50+ million a year?
At the time, you got to. So I'm just being devil's advocate as far as trying to defend this contract. So you got to remember when what they were winning games before Lamar got hurt in his contract year. Lamar gets hurt, they stop winning games. He leveraged that. He leveraged his age. He leveraged his productivity across the years. If you look at his stats, he's got good productivity. He really
Productivity,
does.
his productivity is in decline.
You love that word, don't you?
I love
Everybody's
it.
declining.
I love it. Lamar it shows he is statistically declining. Anybody can go pull him up right now. There is a fall off every single year.
And then you got to remember that he fills seats too. So you never know what you're going to get with Lamar. Lamar could drop back. He could throw 80-yard bomb down to whoever's stretching the field for him, or he can run for an 80-yard. So, you never know what you're going to get with Lamar. The fact that you have to respect his running the way you do, you don't have to respect no one's running in the league quite like you have to respect Lamar's.
I'll give you that one.
So that was, I'm pretty sure that was a dynamic. We got to remember, this dude negotiated his own stuff. So I'm pretty sure this is the type of stuff that he was telling Ozzie when he went in there.
And hey, you know what? I'm right at again. All hats off to Lamar on being able to push this deal through. I know I sound like a big hater, but hey, look, I commend him big time for being able to orchestrate that. But I'm just looking at the numbers, and the numbers don't add up to me. They don't. And
Well, that's Baltimore's issue now. So
you're 100% right. But I don't see him being able to win a MVP. I don't see him being able to win a Super Bowl in Baltimore. And then he handcuffed himself even harder by demanding that much of the salary cap.
and then you got to remember that division will forever be tough.
It
You got the
forever
Browns
will be
playing the way the
tough.
Browns is playing. The Bengals will figure it out. They will figure it out.
Yeah. I mean, if they're
And then I'm
going,
not going to say the Steelers, but you got Mike Tomlin. So
you do have Mike
Mike
Tomlin.
Tomlin figures out a way.
And if Mike Tomlin isn't going to sit there and win the division, he damn sure is going to kneecap somebody trying to go up there and get it. And the Steelers and Baltimore are always a wild game, like the Cowboys and the Redskins.
Mike Tomlin figures it out. I don't know how he does it, but he figures it out.
Yeah,
So it's a tough division.
yeah. And then now we come up to well, before I get to Dak, I want to talk about Justin Fields. I feel he is another young man trapped in a bad offensive system. They try to
Agreed.
they try to overcoach him. They try to get him to be this drop back pro style quarterback when that's not necessarily him. I mean, he's not a Lamar Jackson run first type of quarterback, but I mean, the kid he has a cannon for an arm. He can read defenses and he can make it happen. When they left him alone to play at the end of last season, he was really reliant on that tight end. I didn't check DJ Moore's stats on that one. I'm sorry. Shame on me for that. But I think his wide receiver production was up a little bit, but he was more reliant on the tight end. And then of course his running ability. He was getting people to respect that running ability, which would start to open up those passing lanes that he was looking for. And he can make those throws. He did it at Ohio State, and that's a reason why he was drafted so high.
I wouldn't take DJ Moore's stats. I'd take them with a grain of salt because you got to remember that what was that, week 4, week 5, that he just exploded on the scene. So that's going to make his numbers look better than what they are because he hasn't really been doing anything. And if he has been doing something, I ain't really heard about it.
Right.
But this is the issue that the Bears have. And this is any team. If you're going to dub someone your franchise guy, this is our franchise quarterback, and you see what his intangibles are, you see what his strengths are, and you don't work towards those strengths, then you're handicapping him. You're basically saying, yeah, we see you can do all that, but we really don't want you to do that. We want you to do this. Things that you're decent at, but you're not strong at. So this is the plays that we want you to run, and they're not more your style. They're not your style, but we want them to be your style. And then they see that, and what are we in? This is his 3rd year, right?
Yes.
So his rookie year, they did that. It didn't work out. We get to year 2, which was last season, and they tried it their way. This is just me. This is an assumption. I don't know if they made changes or not, but they tried it their way for about the first half of the season. Did you see how he looked the second half of the season?
Yeah, amazing.
When I felt like he was doing what he was good at. He was running the ball. He was throwing what he needed to throw. When I would guess that he was making maybe 2, maybe 3 reads max, and he was taking the hell off.
Yeah.
Why don't they do that? I don't understand why don't they go to that and play to his strengths rather than saying this is what we want you to do.
It doesn't make any sense to me either. Like that's one thing that has just completely befuddled me. And I hope they either do 3 things. They either, one, let the man play his best way that he can play. I mean, because he's already hurt. So hopefully they take this time to really see that they just need to let Justin play the way he needs to play. 2, they need to fire that coach, send him on to somewhere else, and get somebody who's willing to sit there and let Justin play the way he needs to play. Or 3, they need to trade him to somebody who's actually going to appreciate him.
It's probably going to be the third one.
But they're not going to get that. They're not going to get that first round back for him.
No, absolutely not. He'll be worth a two,
Yeah.
and you'll have a team that'll pay a two for him easily.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just on his potential alone,
Right.
it'll be a two.
And I feel that team should be the Dallas Cowboys because now we're rolling into Dak Prescott.
It won't be Dallas. Dallas already has their replacement in place, and I've talked to Cowboy fans. They don't want to believe it, but Trey Lance was not brought in to be a career backup. They're
No.
going to kick the tires on him because they can't. So here's the thing. I have to give, I'm going to say Stephen Jones the credit for this because he seems to be the mastermind behind this. Stephen is already posturing the Cowboys to pay Lamb and Parsons. And how do you do that? You get rid of your quarterback contract.
Yeah. Because Dak is trying to ask for what, $50 million this year? He ain't gonna get that.
And he's not gonna get it.
And
he can get it elsewhere, but he's not gonna get it in Dallas.
If he does that, there will be blood in the streets. I know one personally Cowboys fan that will fly all the way from where he resides on the East Coast, fly all the way to Dallas, kick in Jerry Jones's door, and fight that old man. I know he will. If they re-sign
even
Dak
if he
Prescott.
if he gets an extension, I know the exact person that you're talking about.
Love that man to death. And I know he would find some way to shimmy through the security ways and do that, man. And now, again, it's not a threat of Jerry Jones. It's not a thing that's actually going to happen. It'll all play out in somebody's head and never see any types of action that way. But in his mind, I know that whole scenario is going to go down in his head.
The Cowboys window keeps closing, and they keep putting phone books and all kinds of stuff in there to keep that window open. And I swear, because there's something that's really going to be problematic for the Cowboys that they got to get right in the next coming draft. And they've hit gold all the time at this position, but that position is just, they're old. They're really good, but they're old, and that position is their old line.
Yeah.
Their old line has been good for years.
Yep.
But Zach is old and Tyron is old.
Yeah, they need to go get.
They got to get it right when they start shoring it up again.
They do need to redraft the lineman, but they also need to go find a number one receiver.
So you're just going to disrespect CeeDee Lamb like that?
CeeDee Lamb is a very good receiver. There are many good receivers out there, but not every receiver is a number one receiver. There are some receivers out there that, hey, that number two spot or that slot spot is exactly where you need to be, and that is where you're the most effective and the most dangerous. But that X receiver is a very hard position to play. You have very few. So right now, would you take CeeDee Lamb or Stephon Diggs?
See, you're being unfair right now. You're being unfair to CeeDee Lamb. CeeDee Lamb is a top 10 receiver in the league, though. He's a top 10.
Then why does he have to stop to catch the ball?
He can catch it on the run, man.
When what?
When
he's cutting across the middle and only getting you that couple yards for a first down and can't take it all the way to the house?
I'm not here for the CeeDee Lamb slander, man. I'm not a big CD fan, but I'm not going to sit here and beat him up.
We'll get to the wide receiver. We'll get to the wide receivers in episode 6. We'll talk wide receivers, tight ends, all that other stuff, and skill positions in episode 6. Just giving you a bit of preview. Again, I respect CeeDee Lamb for what he does. I just do not see him as the X receiver. I think he is a wide receiver or a slot receiver. But that X, man, no. But
we'll see. We'll save it. I'll be ready to defend because I got a feeling you're gonna be beating up on some guys. If you beat up on CD, there's a lot more guys that you're gonna be beating up
on. Hollywood Brown.
I don't mind you beating up on him. I don't mind that.
I think he's underutilized in Arizona. But yeah, and then of course Dak Prescott. We both agree he's got to go from Dallas. He ain't it. When you miss T.Y. Hilton wide open, where the stands are the closest receiver in a championship game, where literally all you had to do was get one touchdown to win the game.
He threw that ball high as hell.
There was one time he threw it to CD, and there was no defender in the immediate area with T.Y. Hilton running free. There was just him and the goalpost out there. Didn't look at him. So when I saw that happen, I was like, I can't defend Dak anymore whatsoever.
But my biggest question would be who's going to take on Dak, because Dak is still good enough to be a starter in this league, but who gets him?
Who has a defense good enough to be able to carry him? Because if Dallas's defense can't do it,
You know what would be a fit for him?
Tennessee Titans.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That better not ever happen. Nope. You trading that? You're literally trading green apples for red apples, man. If you do that, you're going away from Tannehill to Dak Prescott. No, I ain't here for that.
Okay,
No,
so
I
then
ain't here
so
for
then
that
you're
at
going to
all.
say that Ryan Tannehill is still good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL.
No, Ryan Tannehill is going to be the best backup when he leaves us.
Okay, then that means Dak Prescott, as soon as he leaves Dallas, he is the best backup available, second best
No,
backup available.
because see, you get Dak can go to the Jets and be successful. He can go to the Jets. He'll be fine with the Jets.
Yeah, because he does have
You
a
know
bona
why he'll be fine with the Jets? Because
because
he's better than Zach Wilson.
because he also has a bona fide ex receiver in Garrett Wilson out there.
So he could go to the Jets and be fine. I could see somebody like, I don't know why they would do it, but I could see Minnesota moving on from Kirk and bringing in Dak. Why not? Get a little younger.
Get a little younger, and he does have Justin Jefferson and Addison out there.
So
Again,
I
he
can see
has
that.
your
That's
bona
another
fide
fit.
ex receiver. Because when Dak had Amari Cooper, he did really, really well.
Yeah, I'll give you three teams. Let's round it up with three. He could go to Oakland and be successful if they could find a way to get off of Garoppolo. He could go to
Yes.
Oakland and be fine.
Yeah, that is true. I could see him doing a little bit better in Oakland, but
But it's got to be a team that doesn't have a bona fide rookie, and they got to have either underproducing starting quarterback or an aging quarterback. It's got to be those teams if he's going to start.
Tennessee.
No, we'll go to the draft. And you got to remember, we have to see what Will Levis can do before we even consider anything like that. More to come on that in about probably the next 10 to 15 minutes.
All right. Well, now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close out with our teams, but first we're gonna stop here and we're gonna ask the craziest question in the world. Who is way too early, but who is gonna be in the Super Bowl? I personally cannot pick at all. I can give you some teams, but I couldn't tell you who's gonna win it, and I couldn't tell you who for sure who's gonna be in it. But from the NFC, I've got Detroit, the Rams, Philly, Dallas, and the Niners.
You got some wild cards on there. Did you say the Rams?
The Rams. Well, I don't know because their starting corner that's been doing their young corner that's been doing really well decided he wanted to get arrested at an airport. So
say the teams again, and I'll tell you if I agree with that or not. Now you talking about just making it to the Super Bowl, right, from the NFC? Okay.
Deep runs in the playoffs. I'll just go deep runs in the playoffs.
Go ahead.
Detroit Lions.
That's a hot take right there. That's bold. That's your boldest one, probably.
No,
but yes,
the Rams,
they do have the talent to do it.
Me saying the Rams is probably the boldest take you have in there.
No, I trust the Rams more than I trust the Lions.
You trust the Rams? I see the Rams in Detroit as equal footing. It's just 1A and 1B. And
the only person that's a big name that's been there is Jared Goff.
With the Detroit?
With the Lions.
Right.
Yeah,
he's
been there.
But look at what they've been doing though. Hey,
it's early.
Hey,
it's early. They very well may win that division.
Good.
I do like Dan. Oh, I like him. He's a really good coach.
He's got them boys playing and overachieving at every single step.
He truly cares, man, about winning and losing.
And he is the X factor that I see them being able to get to a championship game and possibly the Super Bowl. The Rams, I just see them somehow LA Magic. That's the only way I can explain it. Because some games they look amazing with having that deadly combination of Cooper Kupp and Nakuna. And if Williams can come back, he'll be all right. The defense looks good enough to be able to not be a liability to them. And we go from there. Now, my shakiest picks, believe it or not, Philly. You look at their next 6 weeks.
That ain't shaky.
Look at the next 6 weeks. Let me pull up. Let me look at Philly's, the Eagles.
You know why I'm not worried about Philly? It's because you see Philly's offense. You see it.
It's hurting.
It don't look but it don't look like it's doing nothing. They're gonna figure it when they figure it out. Man, Philly will be fine. I ain't worried about Philly.
Okay, let's just run through Philly real quick. They've got the Dolphins,
Yeah, that's going to be a tough
the
game.
Cowboys,
For the defense.
the Dolphins,
That's a
the Cowboys, the
division game.
Bills, the
Yeah, that's a tough
Bills,
game.
the Eagles, or I'm sorry, the Cowboys again, and then they finally get to go to the Giants.
Yeah, but division games are division games. I mean, it's just what it is.
And then here's the best. And then after they get the bye week from the Giants, they turn around and they go to the Commanders, the Chiefs. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I misled you. They go, they go to the Dolphins. They play against Miami. Then they play the Cowboys. Then they play the Chiefs. Then they play the Bills. Then they play the Niners. Then they play the Cowboys again. Then they play the Seahawks. Then they play the Giants on Christmas Day. You really?
Yeah, they got some tough games ahead of them.
They
got some tough games.
Like,
I ain't worried about them though. I'm not worried about them.
Just how all that goes is what I'm worried about. That's the part that I'm worried about, is just that schedule and the attrition that's going to set in from all those tough matchups.
The reason why I'm not worried about them, because if you think about Philly right now, they're very hard to scheme against because they can beat you on the ground and in the air. So they're very hard to scheme against.
Did you see them against the Jets? They look pretty grounded with their air assault. I get it. It's one game, but Jalen has been looking a little sus the whole way through. Now, of course, I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. I hate the Philadelphia Eagles, but I'm a Jalen Hurts fan. He will forever always be an Alabama quarterback.
Mm.
But he's running into the same problem that he had when he was at Alabama. It's like all of a sudden that arm runs out of gas.
He'll be fine. Because of his running threat and the way that Swift's been playing, not worried about it.
Okay.
Not worried about Philly. Not right now. I'm not worried about him at this moment.
Right. And then you got Dallas. And
division game.
Dallas goes at the speed. I mean, with them, it's whoever wins that division is the one I see being able to make a championship appearance. And then you got
division game.
And then you got the 49ers.
If they're healthy, that's going to be a very tough game.
Absolutely.
That right there. If you'd asked me before the season, I would have said that game right there is your preview of your NFC Championship.
Yeah. Because if Brock Purdy can at least keep Deebo Samuel or Christian McCaffrey, he'll be fine. Ayuk has made a huge improvement from last season. But
they're going to lose him.
But we saw that he was not able to fully step in and dominate with Purdy the way you would want him to.
They're going to lose Ayuk.
You think so?
Ayuk is going to command some wide receiver one money when the market opens. I can see Ayuk getting anywhere between $20 and $25 million a season. I don't know if 49ers would be willing to fork that over to him.
It depends on who else they can talk to shake all that out. Now, the AFC I see a little bit easier. My teams right there, the Chiefs, the Dolphins, and the Bills.
If you wouldn't have said the Bills, I'd have walked off. I would have walked off. When you said Chiefs, I was like, I got that. Miami, I got that. If you would have said any other team other than the Bills, I would have walked off. Okay, I like those picks. I like those.
And unless Josh, geez, you got me bad. Unless Joe Burrow can get healthy again, get hot and healthy like he did last season, the Bengals can creep in there as well too.
Let's not, all right, dark horse. Let's not count Jacksonville out. Yes, I said it. I said it.
Trevor's gonna have to figure something out.
Jacksonville look nice, man. I take my hat off to Jacksonville. They look really nice, and you can't take Dougie P out, man. You can't count him out. Doug Peterson is a damn good coach, man.
Yep, just got to get Trevor Lawrence calmed down, and he'll be all right. But I mean, we'll just have to see how it goes. We also see what's his name, CJ. He's
anyways,
now we get to move on to what we get to go to our closing segment, which is the state of our illustrious teams.
You go first.
Oh man, CJ Stroud, that boy is going to be Offensive Rookie of the Year.
If they stopped right now, hands down.
If he stays on this track, CJ Stroud will be far and away Rookie of the Year.
The fact that we just finished with Week 6 and he threw his first interception,
which didn't even count. It turned out to be a net gain.
Ah, man. CJ Stroud, he proved you can't really prove people wrong when you're the third overall. What is it? Third overall pick, second overall pick. You can't really prove people wrong when you're the second overall pick. But when he took the Wonderlic test and he didn't do too good, and it was like, that means he can't process and blah blah blah. To which he responded, "Hey, I'm a football player." Man, every person that said he wouldn't be successful from that test, they're eating it right now. They're eating their words.
Well, they also came out and said we tested him right after he was done with the game, and when he was dog ass tired.
And he's got Nico Collins looking like a
Look,
star right now.
yeah, looking and Tank Dell. No, I'm not saying Tank Dell was bad. Tank Dell's still a rookie, but I mean, still, Tank Dell was doing good before that concussion. Now, the biggest thing that we really need to work on is our defensive backs. We're giving up way too many passing yards. Our secondary is Swiss cheese, man. Like
The,
if we can lock that down, we'll be pretty good. Tighten up a little bit more on the run defense, which we're doing
that's
pretty
right.
decent
Tighten
at.
up.
But I mean, I don't see Derrick Henry Gerald doing too much of anything.
So, hey, I'm going to cut you deep on this one. Hey, y'all had the opportunity to get Sauce Gardner. Y'all took Derek Stingley. Woo! Just thought I'd throw that out there. You got that one wrong.
We felt bad for the Jets with them taking Zach Wilson number 2 overall. Okay, we were trying to give them something to be happy about. Okay,
Derek Stingley will bounce back, man. Derek Stingley had a down year at LSU, man. Derek Stingley, he'll bounce back.
but
He has all
Sauce,
the right stuff.
but Sauce was the better pick because he has the best ability right now, availability.
Well, Sauce he's a athletic freak. He don't get enough for he's very sticky in coverage, man. That's
He
why it's weird. It's crazy how sticky he is.
he is. I mean, that's just how I mean he is. But I mean, he was a non-factor in the Alabama game when they played Cincinnati. But that's because Alabama did not throw to his side. Even Nick
Hey,
Saban avoided him.
he reminds me of a young Pat P. That's
Oh,
what Sauce reminds me of.
yep, yep.
Shout
But
out to Patrick Peterson. That's my
yes,
guy. Still my guy. Still doing
yes.
it.
I will say this though, as far as the outlook. Again, I still stick by it to what I said at the beginning of the year. The Texans' best hope, outside chance, I give them about a 33% chance. Wild card. Best chance.
I
That is
can't.
the absolute best case scenario.
I can't beat that up. That'll be the craziest wild card make that we've seen in a long time, man.
Yep.
If Houston can somehow figure it out,
Like I said, that's the best. That is their ceiling that I see them at is the wild card round. If they go anywhere further, I mean, for me to claim that they're going to go anywhere further. I mean, I'm a delusional Texans fan, and I already know I'm going to get some hate on people sitting there telling me how are they going to make the wild card. Have you seen how bad the division is? Blah blah blah. Bro, I get it. That's why I said 33% chance, and that's why I said their ceiling, if they're lucky, is going to be that wild card. They'll be number 2 in the division if Jacksonville can figure it out.
maybe not by episode 6, but maybe by episode 7, we should be able to nail down who we think and do some good predictions
Oh
for
yeah.
sure.
Now let's take a trip down to the basement.
We ain't in the damn basement though, man. Hold on, man. Not quite. But my take on the Titans. So you want to know what I think on the Titans? And remember, we didn't talk about this beforehand, so you're hearing this for the first time too. My take on the Titans is absolutely blow up. Let's see what we got with Malik Willis and Will Levis. I would probably say we've seen what Malik can do. Let's go on and put Will in there. I think earlier in the week I said we need to let Malik play, but now that I've been thinking about it, we need to go on and let Will play. We don't know what Will can do. So with this draft coming up and how deep it is at the quarterback position, so we don't draft 3 straight years in a row at quarterback within the first 2 days of the draft. We need to see what we got. I would be on board with Ryan Tannehill not touching the field again. And if somebody wants to give us a pick for Ryan Tannehill, send them off. But I think in the next 2 weeks, Tennessee will be sellers. We're going to get it's going to piss Titan fans off because it's going to be some names, some household names that they don't want to see get moved. But I can see the likes of DeAndre Hopkins is probably going to get traded. Derrick Henry's probably going to get traded. Kevin Byard's going to get traded. And because we have no capital, we have, I think, 5 picks in this upcoming draft. And if you're a rebuilding team, 5 picks ain't it. We need more picks. So fans aren't going to like it, but this is what I've came up with in my head. The Titans just recently got approved for a new stadium, so they're going to get a new stadium. By the time that stadium is done and we're playing there, we need to be good. We need to be playing well so we can fill those seats and that stadium can get paid for. That's my take on it. I've seen enough. We're only 2-4. We're not terrible. And you got to remember, last season we started the season off 7-2, and then we didn't win another game. So it is what it is. Jacksonville started it off, I think, worse than what we started off. I think they were 2-6 and they won the division. Mm-hmm. So can you turn the ship around? Absolutely. But my issue is we don't have the talent to go deep into the playoffs, even if we make the playoffs. And the last few years, the Titans have either been in the playoffs or on the fringe of the playoffs. So with that pick 11 that we just did, that was the highest pick that they've had, I want to say, since we took either it was in the Mariota draft or the Corey Davis and Adoree Jackson draft. So it's been a while since we've had a really good pick, and this is going to be the year. I would like to see the Titans pick in the top 5.
Yeah.
That's my take on Tennessee. It's time to rebuild.
Time to rebuild. So you're willing to take the Texans route and sit at the bottom?
I'm fine with that.
I think you guys are going to be in a dogfight for the bottom with the Colts, especially
we're
with
worse
Anthony
than the Colts.
Richardson going down.
Gardner Minshew is better than Ryan Tannehill.
Adjacent. We'll see.
No, he's better. He's better. Yeah. Ryan Tannehill. So here's the issue. I'll give you this. I'm going to give you this stat off the top of my head. Ryan Tannehill, through 3.5 quarters that he played this last game, had 78 passing yards. 78 in 3 quarters. 78 yards in 3 quarters.
Jeez. Yeah.
Malik came in and played for a quarter and a half and had 76. That's 150 yards between 2 quarterbacks.
Yeah. And Derrick Henry finally starting to figure out how to run the ball again. Finally starting to get them.
No, but the problem with Derrick Henry is Derrick Henry is chunk plays. Derrick Henry was getting bottled up, and then boom, he busts you for a 60.
Yeah, but that 60
because
helped.
Teams the problem is this, man, and this is when I don't want to go down this rabbit hole too far, but in the game that we just lost, we had a PI late in the game, and we were down 10. So we had a PI in the end zone, which puts the ball on the goal line. Now, mind you, we're trying to hurry up and score real quick. And Tajay Spears was in this entire draft because Derrick Henry, for whatever reason, they don't like using him in passing downs, even though we run screens with him and stuff like that, and that worked fine. But I get it. Whatever. I digress. It was 1st and goal late in the game, and we were down 10, and Derrick Henry doesn't come back in. Why? Why do you not put the best player at getting – all we needed was a yard. Derrick Henry would have got you a yard. But instead, we're doing all kind of other stuff, and then we end up getting pushed back, and we take a field goal there. I'm like, we're overthinking, and I don't like that. And it might not be on Mike Vrabel, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't on his play calling. But you're the head coach. You got to say, hey, Tim Kelly, get Derrick Henry in there.
Yeah,
let's punch this in, and let's do what we need to do. But they're overthinking, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah, we'll have to find out.
I don't know, man.
But
I'm ready to blow it up. I have no faith.
We'll have to see. All right, man. Well, I think we'll go ahead and we'll shut things down here. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe. If you're on TikTok, make sure you hit the plus button. Thank everybody again for the support. Again, be honest, but be constructive with the criticism. We'll take anything.